All of a sudden, the floor just started moving.
It was like surfing on asphalt.
Anyone who has lived through a major earthquake will tell you they'd like to get advance warning next time. An international team of scientists drilled 1.5 miles into the earth at a test site in Parkfield, California, to study what happens at ground zero of an earthquake.
There's roughly a dozen major plates that the Earth's surface is broken up into. And this is one of the first times that we've ever been able to drill into one of those boundaries between the tectonic plates.
One of the main goals that interest me was to recover material from the fault.
With support from the National Science Foundation, geologists Chris Marone and Brett Carpenter at Penn State are studying those boundaries called fault zones, where plates shift, pressure builds, and where earthquakes happen.
We'll take a intact piece of the fault this big and shear it under conditions that try to mimic what it was like along the fault at depth.
At their lab, they simulate earthquake conditions in a pressure chamber.
We jacket it in a way similar to this sample, and this allows us to apply stresses to the sample. And then once the pressure is applied in this direction, we use this piston to shear the sample down at a constant rate.
Marone and his team say an area between two plates at the Parkfield site is filled with rubble and clay. When the plates shift at this location, they move in a slow, steady creep, causing minor earthquakes hardly felt on the surface. That's very different from other fault zones where harder rocks like granite can lock together. Eventually, overwhelming pressure builds, releasing in a violent tremor, often wreaking havoc above. Better understanding of these basic mechanics of a tremor is key to the ultimate goal of forecasting a quake.
There's a lot of people in California and a lot of people all over the world that live on active fault lines.
It'd be great to know when an earthquake's going to happen. It'd save a lot of lives.
I would like to know. I have children, and it makes me nervous. I want to make sure they're safe.
It's all about figuring out what happens at the core of the quake, drilling down on the problem of how to predict when and where an earthquake will happen before the shaking starts. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.